Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Zombie. If I had to describe this mode in one word, it would be controversial. This mode has separated the zombies community more than any other iteration of the mode ever has. However, before we get into the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new as well, as I upload every single day. Modern Warfare Zombies is not a bad mode in my opinion, however it is also far from being a great mode in my opinion. And by no means would I prefer this to traditional round-based zombies. However, before I go in any further to this video, I do want to let you guys know that I am currently on the Bioluminescent grind. I've finished the Borealis grind, and I have gotten over, I think it is like almost 4 days total playtime. And I've completed the full act story and everything. I've defeated the Ether Worm and all of that. So I have put time into this mode, and I do personally enjoy playing this mode. So anything I say in this, don't take it as me just blindly hating on the mode essentially. Before we get into my personal take on the mode, I'd like to talk about why this mode seems to have separated the zombies community so much. So if you dare look on that shitstorm of a platform known as Twitter.com, or X now I guess, and you type Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, you'll be hit with a shit ton of people enjoying the mode and a whole bunch of people disliking the mode. However, like usual, half of the people that like or dislike the mode can't seem to get any reasons for why they, feel the way they do about the mode. At least not any valid reason. Someone dislikes the mode, they usually default to, it's not round based, it's a piece of shit. And if someone likes the mode, they really can't pinpoint the reason why they like the mode. Now, I'm not saying that disliking this mode or not buying it due to the fact that you dislike the fact that it's not round based isn't a valid opinion. But to shit on everyone who's enjoying the game and stuff like that just because you don't enjoy the game, or you don't even know if you enjoy the game because you haven't played it, just due to the fact that it's not round based, is pretty fucked up. And I think you should really evaluate your biases before going on Twitter. Anyway, this leads to nobody being able to have a civilized conversation about why they might like or dislike the mode. Then again, who goes on Twitter to have an actual conversation? I mean, it's just for shit posting. Speaking of shit posting on Twitter, my Twitter's in the description below. You should go follow me. I do very good shit posting. I really don't, but if you want to keep up to date to when I upload, I tweet out every video I upload over there. Why do people hate the mode? I can understand why someone would like or dislike the mode, so I'm going to do my best to try and give you, the viewer, both perspectives. The most common reason that anyone who has played the mode would dislike it is the timer of 45 minutes and then an additional 15 minutes while the Etherstorm expands. And I can't lie, this was a pretty, big pitfall, and still is, of the mode for me. So anyway, while the Etherstorm expands, you get an extra 15 minutes. So I can totally understand why someone would not. I can totally understand this take, as sometimes it can feel like, oh my god, I only have another 10 to 20 minutes of fun inside the tier 3 zone, or the match in general. Especially after you get set up for those higher tier zones, as it usually takes around 25-30 odd minutes to get set up, then only leaving you with 15 to 20 minutes to grind contracts in those higher tier zones to complete story missions or get schematics, stuff like that. Another common reason for disliking the mode is how exfils work. So when you exfil, you take equipment and weapons you had on you. You will also keep any Ethereum crystals, Aether tools, perks, schematics, and wonder weapon cases. However, you lose any wonder weapon you had on you out of its case, perks that you used in that game, the weapon's rarity rating, the weapon's pack-a-punch level, and any essence that you had on you. But if you down with Tombstone and fully die in that game, then redeploy into another game, you will keep all of the essence that you had on you, but you lose the armor vest, backpack, and mask you had on that character. If you had your insured weapon in that match, then you will have to wait the hour-long refresh time till you can use that weapon again. This current system makes it so exfilling seems almost obsolete, unless you are trying to leave with a certain schematic that you are wanting to use. Now, they are adding a wallet system, but I am reviewing the mode as it is before Season 1. I'll do another review on multiplayer and the zombies mode once the game is come to the end of its life cycle, as I'm planning to do with all the Call of Duty games going forward. One of the less rational reasons to dislike Modern Warfare Zombies is just because it is not a round-based experience. Now, I am not saying it's an invalid reason not to buy the game. but it is an invalid reason to say the game is ass, as you most likely haven't even played the game. Now, going into reasons that people like the mode. The first one is the gameplay loop, as it is very fun despite what I said about it earlier when discussing things that, people would dislike about the mode. Every time you load into a match, you are encouraged to have almost like a pre-planned idea of what you or every time you load into a match, you are encouraged to have an almost like pre-planned idea of what you and your friends or you and your friends are going to do inside that game due to the limited amount of time. And for some, that's enjoyable. Another reason is people that play DMZ want more content like that since DMZ isn't getting any more updates any longer, as they have shifted focus completely to Modern Warfare Zombies. The last reason I'll list is that the mode is just fun and much more relaxing than multiplayer as there is no SBMM and you fight literal AI the whole time and never any real people. Now, since we have covered some reasons for people to dislike or like the mode, I would like to cover the things that I personally think are good or bad. Starting with the good, I think the gameplay loop is solid. I do think that there could be some improvements, but with this being the preseason, I'd say it's pretty good if you know good ways to consistently get points. On top of that, it's very new player friendly, so if you've never played zombies before, then you will most likely be able to still pick up this mode pretty fast. The number of things you have to do on launch are pretty good too if you enjoy collecting and grinding for things. We have a Modern Warfare 3 weapon camo grind in Borealis for zombies, and one for Modern Warfare 2 weapons and zombies, which is bioluminescent. You have 3 full acts to go through, which amounts to about 36 hours of gameplay if you're playing with a squad. I think it took me 42 doing it all solo. Depending on your skill level, of course, this time may vary. There's also many schematics to collect, so you can build different items in the menu. On another note, there's a lot of wholesome moments to have, unlike any other zombies mode to date. You can join random players in up to 8-player groups. I think it's 8-player groups at least. You can also drop armor carriers or weapons, schematics, and other things to random people if you don't need it yourself, making it more of a community-focused mode. Now, going into the things I dislike about the mode. Number one on the list is definitely going to be the story. And spoiler alert for anyone not wanting to spoil the story of Modern Warfare Zombies. You should probably skip to the next section of the video where I'm not talking about the story. There's also going to be one spoiler about the campaign pertaining to a certain character. So if you don't want that and you're fearing of spoiling the campaign, which really there's nothing to spoil, I'm sorry. Then, skip to the next section. The story of Modern Warfare Zombies, if you can even call it that, is based around stopping Zakhaev from COD 4, or more recently MW 2019, who, by the way, got thrown into the fire of a missile silo whilst a missile is going off. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Zakhaev started a zombie apocalypse inside of Urzikstan. He then hires a PMC called Terminus Outcomes to help him refine ether for use in making weapons of mass destruction. That's the dumbed down version at least, and even that isn't really that dumbed down. Anyway, so who's on your team? Well, the team of Operation Deadbolt consists of Selma Green, Kate Laswell, Hugo Barrera, Crystal Miller, Lucas Dobbs, Rupinder Kapoor, Amy Fang, Ravenov Sergey returning from Cold War, Soap McTavish from the campaign, and later on, Ava Jansen. So, do you see the problem with this cast of characters? And this is just for the people who have played the game and completed the story, or even the first part of the story. I'll give you a little time to find it. That's right. Even if you tried to, you don't know or give enough of a shit to know anything about any of these characters other than Ava and Ravenov, I feel. As Laswell is from the campaign, and Soap, this is the part, by the way, where I spoil something for the campaign, please skip ahead, is fucking dead, but this event takes place before the campaign. No, I'm sorry. You're telling me that Soap didn't bother mentioning the fact that there is fucking zombies in Urzikstan? Like, okay, what the fuck is this story? Like, if the story was going to be this trash, why did you even bother? Like, just why? It makes no sense. Anyway, rant aside. Carrying on in the first act, we go on a wild goose chase to find Dr. Jansen to try and find a way to stop the ether activity from spreading into any other parts of the world. Second act, the team test a neutralizer that Jansen has made to see if it's strong enough to take out the Ethereum that Zakhaev has been spreading. In Act 3, we put a stop to Zakhaev's evil plan by blowing up all his Ethereum. We then deployed the neutralizer to clean up any leftover Ethereum power in the area, but in the only cool in-game cutscene, a giant fucking ether worm jumps out of the fucking ground and eats an attack chopper. Now that is fucking, and I hate to say this, it's very cringe, epic, okay? I don't give a fuck who you are. That shit's pretty epic, and it's probably the best in-game scene in the entire game. So far, at least. Anyway, you must then defeat this worm, which is very hard and challenging. Oh, what's that? He's already dead. Oh, never mind then. Play the only good in-game cutscene.
Dr. Jackson, hurry!
What happened?
Do you not remember?
No. I thought I heard a voice. Something calling from the other side.
Take him to the brig. Green will get the interrogation started. Nice sign of Zakhaev. He may be bloodied, but he's still breathing. Next time he sticks his head up, I'll take it off.
What about the neutralizer?
Dobbs, what's the shit rep? Give me some good news.
Negative. Good initial clear on detonation, but dark ether contacts are repopulating.
Pipet.
Also picking up an energy spike in the red zone. Never seen anything like it.
Well, looks like this shit show just keeps getting better and better. Everyone on TP! Looks like this op isn't gonna be over anytime soon.
Fine. Ravenov. Ready for evac.
Solid copy. Stand by. ETA 2 minutes.
Anyway, so after watching that cutscene, what do you think they could improve the story and, more importantly, mission system with? Leave it down in the comments below, but I'll go into my things I think they could do. First off, give us more context. Like, I hate to compare these two stories as they are in two different leagues, but the original premise storyline, even taking nostalgia out of the factor, made me care about the characters even if I wasn't looking for lore videos. Like, I didn't have to pull up no Mr. Rothwaffle's 4 hours of the full fucking zombie storyline or anything like that. Just playing the maps and playing with the characters, doing Easter eggs, stuff like that. I cared about the characters and the story of that mode. Hell, it even made me cry, and I'll admit this, even though it's nerdy as fuck, it even made me cry when I heard the VAs, the voice actors, for the cast of premise characters say their final goodbye. As we're in Cold War to Modern Warfare Zombies, I don't give a single shit about the characters or story, especially since we have and are stuck with the operator system, which leaves about no room to tell a story whilst in-game unless it's a Spec Ops style where there's just someone talking over the fucking radio to you. And honestly, when I'm playing zombies and Soap says, "Yeah, kill that undead fucker," or something like that, terrible impression, by the way, it kind of pulls me out of it because I know that he is in the actual fucking story mode, and apparently he did all that after encountering literal zombie outbreak. Whatever, okay? So, Treyarch should just stick to the gameplay and cool boss fights with a lackluster but understandable story, just like in Cold War, because It worked pretty well there, even though it wasn't the most intriguing thing. There were some things that I actually had to go and investigate myself, and I wanted to after doing the Easter eggs. But Cold War was definitely carried by its gameplay, and I think Modern Warfare Zombies is also carried very much by its gameplay, which, since it is such a different type of mode, that is the main reason why a lot of people that do enjoy round-based and only round-based will not ever play this mode. And anyone who is a COD Zombies lore head, you can't really get them intrigued and say, hey, come over here, buy this $70 to $100 game, so that way you can experience the zombie story in the next part of the Dark Ether storyline, because there is none, especially right now. Maybe in later seasons to come, maybe then with more seasonal content we will. But buying it as the base game, what you get on disc or on digital download, I guess, there's nothing here to drag you through with the story. Anyway, now that I tugged on my own heartstrings, realizing that Zombies will never have as good of a storyline as we had before, and we really took that shit for granted. I personally think that the mission system is not in a very good spot right now, as in between each of the 3 lackluster cutscenes, you have to do about 12 hours of tedious unrelated tasks to get to the story missions that give you those yap session of a cutscene. So by the time that you get from cutscene A to cutscene B, you forgot what A was even about. Moving on to the map. Unfortunately, there's less atmospheric world building than Vanguard had, as it is literally just the Urzikstan Warzone map with a different skybox, and that's it for changes. Now, it's okay to reuse assets in games, in my opinion. If I have to actually look at it for a little bit before realizing it's even a reused asset, then it's perfectly fine in my opinion. An example I'll give, and a great example at that, is in Elden Ring. Speaking of which, go subscribe to my other channel if you like more constructed content like this as opposed to my usual cut commentary. I'll have an Elden Ring video out. Ended here. Anyway, the Erdtree avatar is a reskin of the Asylum Demon from Dark Souls 1. Like, it has the exact same attack pattern, everything, with maybe one attack added onto it. But you want to know how long it took me to notice this? 468 hours of in-game playtime. It took me negative 20 hours of time to realize the Modern Warfare Zombies map was the Warzone map, because the TAC maps they gave us perfectly overlay each other. Absolutely no difference to the terrain or anything. It perfectly overlays each other. So it literally took me negative 20 hours. I didn't even have to play the game to realize this is literally just a reused asset to the fullest. It's the exact same map as Warzone is getting with Season 1's launch. Now, moving to the actual gameplay. The difficulty scaling in Modern Warfare Zombies is not very good. However, I do want to note that doing difficulty scaling in a mode like this that's meant to, sort of cater to more casual Zombies players or Call of Duty players, DMZ players, stuff like that, would be very hard to do. But it could be better, as when I made it to the Tier 3 zone once after completing the story acts, I just wanted to be there the whole time, every game, but I can't because I have to go through the Tier 1 experience, then the Tier 2 experience, and then, and only then, the Tier 3 experience that I actually want, and that is just a personal issue. Right? Really, it's just a personal issue. Because that's how the mode's meant to be. They want you to have those Tier 1 experiences, then those Tier 2 experiences, then Tier 3 experiences, and then with the Rifts coming out, those Tier 4 experiences every single game. That way it's a gameplay loop of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Holy shit. Voz was right. It's the definition of fucking insanity. Now, about all of the stuff I've said about appealing to the more casual player group, I personally think that it is okay, because if the Zombies mode keeps getting more and more players, then the Treyarch Zombies team will get more and more funding to pump into the Zombies mode. However, this is also a very double-edged sword, as Activision could look at it and just go, hey, the DMZ type Zombies mode gets us more players and in turn more money than the traditional round-based Zombies mode. So, hypothetically, this could lead to them going, round-based Zombies is taking a back burner. And honestly, that would be just like what happened with multiplayer in MW 2019 and Vanguard. When Warzone was extremely popular, Modern Warfare 2019 and Vanguard and Cold War, those multiplayers, even though I enjoyed Cold War's multiplayer, they were getting very lackluster updates, and it took forever for them to fix issues because they were working on Warzone, because that was the main cash horse, okay? That was the main horse they were just beaten absolutely to death, and then beyond that. This isn't a likely, but it's a possibility. On a good note, I think the weapon balancing is pretty good at the moment. as they haven't outright neutered any weapons yet, and hopefully they don't, because this is a PvE mode and balancing doesn't really matter. The camo grind is also very good and very streamlined and easy to follow, which makes it an enjoyable experience, and I don't think the whole time I was going for Borealis I ever actually got mad. The number of zombies you come across though in the zombies mode is very disappointing. Even as a mostly solo player, I never get down from getting overwhelmed by zombies. I'm more likely to get downed from a mercenary from Terminus Outcomes shooting me from halfway across the map with a sniper on some fucking phase shit. And the lack of zombies and distance between the contracts ends up leading to a lot of downtime. So much downtime that I can alt-tab out of the game, watch Pulp Fiction, Avengers Endgame, and a Nat Geo documentary about a cheetah's fucking 50-foot clip before I can even have to actually pay any attention to the actual game, which is something we've never been able to do in zombies before, except for Vanguard, but we don't talk about Vanguard. Everybody universally hated Vanguard. Vanguard was a piece of shit. We don't talk about it. But every other zombies mode, you did not have a chance to do something like that. You weren't able to watch a 2-hour-long movie followed by a 3-hour-long movie followed by a 4-hour-long fucking documentary about a cheetah's 50-foot appendage. And that really just takes away from the experience, unfortunately. Now, the mini Easter eggs that are currently in the game really don't give you much for the amount of effort it takes. For instance, the chessboard Easter egg requires you to go here on the map and transmit a signal there, and transmit a signal from there. Then here to kill a soldier, then transmit a signal, then here to do that again, and then look around for a shock trooper that's on the back of a moving truck to transmit a signal again. Then you go to Shaheen Manor to the garage, and then you open the super secret vault, open some caches, find a mimic called the King, and loot the rest of the caches. And you might be thinking, what do I get? A cool schematic to spawn in with, a tier 2 pack every game, or a perkaholic equivalent? No. You get weapons with rarities that reset at the end of the game. Yeah, it's very lackluster. And this for about, if you do it perfectly, 15 minutes of playtime that you're taking away from being able to get set up and all that to go around the map on this fetch quest to not even get anything cool. Okay, now moving on from my multi-paragraph rant, I'm going to say something you might not expect, okay? Okay, get ready. Do I think you should buy this game for the zombies mode? Yes, if and only if, and it's a big if, you like me are open to playing a non-round based zombies experience. Now I just want to say that you do not have to base your opinion off mine, as believe it or not, we all have free will and can make our own decisions. For a number rating, I would give the Modern Warfare Zombies mode a solid 6 out of 10. I don't think it's perfect, and I think by the end of the year, maybe it could get itself up to a 7. I guess we'll see when I do my end of the year review. If you've enjoyed this more scripted content, I have 2 other videos like this for Postal 1 and Metal Gear Solid 3. They're not the best, but they are on my other channel that will be linked in the description. And I will have a similar video for the multiplayer and then the campaign soon. Both will be posted to this video as it's more Call of Duty relevant since it is about Call of Duty games. And yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and have a good day. And thanks for watching. Peace.